All right, on to chapter 8. So not only I've done this is less than 24 hours from my last video. I just wanted to read another one. So no rhyme or reason for it. Just reading as I go, just keep me accountable. All of that good stuff. It's probably 20 hours since my last video, I think. But we were talking about the Noah and the water covered the earth for 150 days, which is how many months? I'm not good at math, so you do the math there. 5, 6 months, something like that. So the flood recedes. All right, chapter 8. But God remembered Noah and all the animals in the boat. Isn't that weird that that's a verse right there? God remembered Noah. Like, who else is he gonna uh like remember? Because everyone else is dead, you know. He sent a wind to blow across the waters, and the floods began to disappear. That's so weird for me, complaining about God. Sorry. And the flood begins to disappear. The underground water sources ceased their gushing, and the torrential rain stopped. So the flood gradually began to recede after 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began. So there you go. It says it right there, 5 months. From the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. 2.5 months later, as the waters continued to go down, other mountain peaks began to appear. So that's like 7 months of water receding. Isn't that crazy to think about? After another 40 days, so that's 8 months, Noah opened the window and he had it made in the boat and released a raven that flew back and forth until the earth was dry. Then he sent out a dove to see if it could find dry ground. But the dove found no place to land because the water was still too high. So it returned the boat and the boat to the boat, and Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back inside. 7 days later, Noah released the dove again. This time, toward evening, the bird returned to him with a fresh olive leaf in its beak. Noah now knew the water was almost gone. A week later, he released the dove again, and this time it did not come back. Think about all this time of waiting for the dove and all of this stuff, and how patient they had to be, you know? Patience is a virtue, I guess. They didn't have electronics to keep them scrolling all day. I don't even know what they had back then, but that's something to be interested in, to looking into, living off the land, you know? So they probably just spend a lot of time together, and the families made babies because that's what they did back then. Not made babies, but got each other pregnant, you know? So that's probably what they did, and played games, some sort of games. You can play with all the animals out there too, so maybe there was enough to do. But that was 7 months, a little more than 7 months. Finally, when Noah was 600 years old, 10.5 months, so they were out there after the flood began, Noah lifted back the cover to look. The water was drying up. 2 more months went by. So that's a year of being in the boat. So think about that. Just think about like time, you know? It's crazy. And at last the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat, all of you. Release all the animals and birds so they can breed and reproduce in great numbers." So Noah, his wife, and sons, their wives, left the boat, and all the various kinds of animals and birds came out, pair by pair. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and sacrificed on it the animals and birds that had been approved for that purpose. And the Lord was pleased with the sacrifice and said to himself. Before we get into that, Noah built an altar. So you think about an altar today. I don't know what that would look like. And maybe it's a thing just to burn in the animals. But thanking God, he burnt an offering for him, an animal. So we don't do that today. Like in America, we don't do that. So I find that interesting. And the Lord was pleased with that because I guess the Lord was with him during that time. So, and here's the verse that gets me that I hear in churches all the time, and maybe because I haven't read the Bible enough to know what the verse is saying, or if it says something different down the line. But it says, "I will never again curse the earth, destroying all living things." Even though people's thoughts and actions are bent toward evil from childhood, as long as the earth remains, there will be springtime and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, day and night. So that's an interesting ending to this chapter. I will never again curse the earth, destroying all living things. He's not going to destroy all living things. He'll never again do it. Even I hear people say that sometimes. They'll be like, God's coming back, God's coming back, things like that. But it says right here, keep in mind, I haven't read any further. Even those people's thoughts and actions are bent toward evil from childhood. We're all evil people. As long as the earth remains, So think about that. As long as the earth remains, like, isn't God in control of the earth? Maybe space is its own entity, and can do its own thing. And maybe God made space, where asteroids and everything, are just free willing it up there, and one can just go kaboom on the earth one day, and God's like that. That's it. He's just gonna let it happen. There'll be springtime and harvest, cold and heat, winter, summer, day and night. It's all of that right now. So it's interesting. Kind of liked the end of that chapter because it says a lot, So that's all I have for today, or for now. That was Genesis chapter 8. It's about, I would say it's almost 4 a.m. I haven't been to sleep yet, so you might see a little bubble right there. But I'm going to the gym, and then I'm gonna do some work on the computer, and then I'm going to go to bed probably around 7 a.m. trying to keep that night schedule going for work and things like that. So y'all have a good day, and talk soon.